Thank you, Madam Clerk. Offering our invocation tonight is Pastor Tony Harden of Journey Church and is also the new chaplain of the Versailles Police Department.
Thank you, sir. I'm not in that capacity tonight. I have a meeting with the Citizens Police Academy later, but thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a real honor to serve in any way that I can.
Thank you.
So would you all bow your heads and pray with me? Heavenly Father, as we approach you tonight, the word that comes to mind to me is unity. And God, I pray that for this court, that Lord, that we, just as our community, I pray the same thing for our community, that we can have a civil discourse, that Lord, even in times when we may disagree, that God, when our decisions are made, that we walk steady and speak with one voice. And so I pray for a unified court. I pray a special blessing on these men and women that endeavor to serve. God, I pray just blessings on the judge in our community that they do serve. Lord, we love you. And tonight we want to honor you, and it is in your Son and my Savior's holy name that we pray, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much. If you are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there anyone wishing to make a public comment? Seeing none, I'll move on to the approval of the minutes, the special meeting and the regular meeting minutes of August 26, 2025. Are there any questions, comments, additions, or corrections to those meeting minutes? Seeing none, are there any objections to approving the minutes as presented? Also seeing none, I will approve the minutes without objection. Reports, Madam Treasurer, your report, please.
Tonight's balance is $14,299,483.34.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Anybody have any questions for the Treasurer? Seeing none. Move on to maintenance. Supervisor Rick Wade.
Yes, Judge, I have bids for the community stadium, and I request that we go with Origin Electric. The total bid package was $109,000 with a new service, which I recommend, and I also recommend that we go with the added control, additional control for $10,800 to bring a total of $219,125 for this bid.
And there is that bid is from Origin Electric. That's their option number 1 amount. Let me go ahead and open it up. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the bid or any of the bid process? Seeing none, upon the recommendation of Director Rick Wade, is there a motion to accept the bid from Origin Electric, option number 1, in the amount of $219,125? Motion by Squire Mary Ann Gill, second by Squire Kelly Carl. I would additionally open up the floor for any questions on the community light bid, community stadium light bid. Seeing no questions, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously.
Also, Judge, everyone knows we had such a big, fantastic turnout this weekend. I do want to report something that happened, and I would like Mr. Ted Sharp to stand up. About 6:30 or close to 7 o'clock that evening, a young lady came down with a stroller, was walking along and turned, and when she turned, she let go of the stroller. She immediately screamed because it was careening down the towards the district parking lot area, and upon hearing her scream out, Ted saw the stroller coming down and with an infant in the stroller, and he jumped out and caught the child. His comment was to me that his whole time being as a Class D was meant for that moment, and it put his time in perspective. And I want to recognize him. I also going to send this to Jailer Rankin, and she's going to forward this to Department of Corrections. And he's a great team member that we've got that's done a lot of work, that's helped me out tremendously. Darryl has a personal knowledge of him, but Ted has been outstanding with the flood, and then this act. I mean, it goes to his character.
I'd like to say that I'm just very lucky to be here in Woodford County and on the team.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. You are always helping me. Always load my car with lungs and whatever you can do.
We're so fortunate to have our Class D community service program. I want to thank Jailer Michelle Rankin and our detention center and correctional officers for that program and all that they do to keep that program going. It's a huge help. In addition to his assistance with the heroism of saving that child from accident or injury, he also is a skilled welder and has many other trade skills, including equipment operator, performed admirably in the flood. And so we commend Mr. Sharp both on that and his service to Woodford County in the community service program. Thank you, Director Wade. Our court clerk has informed me that the bid from Origin Electric option number 1 is in the amount of $219,925, not $125, $219,925. Can I have a renewed motion to accept that bid as presented for the amended amount, Squire Gill?
Yes. I make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
And Squire Carl renews that second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Thank you all for allowing me to clean that up. The next item is from the Woodford County Sheriff's Office. And Deputy Fugate, I will be happy to take care of that for the Sheriff's Office. We need a motion to surplus the 2019 Chevy Tahoe to EMS from the Sheriff's Office. Is there a motion to surplus said vehicle? Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. I'd like to thank Sheriff Wilhoit and the Sheriff's Office, Deputy Fugate. They've been so helpful in allowing us to supplement our fleet and helping us with vehicles in county government. Every department or agency benefits from that in some way, so we want to thank the sheriff and your office. This is the meeting of surplus. The road department has a vehicle surplus and equipment that was presented upon the recommendation of road supervisor and to authorize the sale of those items on government deals. Is there a motion for same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Varner, second by Squire Gentry. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries unanimously. We also have before you the vehicle purchase agreements. These are the items that are over budget due to tariffs. Prior to this meeting, a public hearing was held for the purpose of LGEA funds. As we mentioned in the public hearing on several occasions, we are amending the LGEA funds to use the remaining $5,617.56 to pay for the difference in the increase in costs due to tariffs for this single axle dump truck single axle truck and a tandem dump truck. These are previously budgeted purchases. So we need to now approve the purchase agreements for the tandem dump truck in the amount of $353,171.75 and the single axle dump body in the amount of $228,724.40. These are purchase agreements recommended by the road supervisor, and the motion should include with proper approval of the county attorney and the judge executive. Is there a motion to approve the purchase agreements for the trucks for purchase for the road department? Motion by Squire Brown.
Second.
Second by Squire Taylor. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Let's see. Madam Clerk, we have another item that I'd like to discuss as part of our road department update. As you all know, the Laurelland subdivision is ready and prepared for paving. That is a subdivision that is not, the road has not been adopted in the county road system. In order to adopt the road in the county road system, the final layer of paving needs to be done. The developer issued a bond. That bond is in the holding of the treasurer of the fiscal court, and we are now prepared to move forward with the paving of Laurelland's road. Steve Hunter, our planning director, has some information on this if anybody has any questions on it. But I think what we need to do is, I need a motion to authorize the judge executive, upon consultation with the county attorney, to begin the process of releasing the bond and paving the road at Laurelland Estates pursuant to the requirements. Mr. County Attorney, that'd be a first good motion to make?
Yes, and with the understanding that these roads will be adopted into the county road system upon completion.
So with that addition to the recommendation of my motion, is there, or my recommendation for a motion, is there a motion? So Squire Jackie Brown, whose district this is in, has made a motion to authorize the judge executive, upon consultation of the county attorney, to begin the process of releasing the bond and securing the paving for Laurelland Estates that will be, upon meeting the conditions, adopted into the county road system. That is the motion. Is there a second? Second by Squire Gill. Given that this item is coming to us, are there any questions? Seeing no questions, the motion on the table. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries. With that authorization, I will move forward with beginning that process. There may be a requirement that we have some email approvals in between now and then, so I would inform the court of that prior to, in case there is anything I need to bring to the court outside of our meeting. Any other questions or comments on any road department items? Anybody have any questions for the road supervisor? Seeing none, thank you, Bo. Great job. I'll move on to animal care and control. Supervisor Kettner, I have the motion to surplus the 2010 Ford Explorer as presented by the Animal Care and Control for authorized for sale of the vehicle on government deals. Motion by Squire Gentry. Second by Squire Downey. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. The next item is from EMS. It'd be the vehicle surplus of the 2006 Ford Explorer from EMS to Midway City Fire, as recommended by the EMS director. Is there a motion to surplus same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Downey. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to solid waste and recycling. Madam Director?
Well, first off, I want to remind you guys that we are having our household hazardous waste September the 20th from 8 to 4 at our place. That is one of our premier things that we do, and we enjoy doing it for the community. So we'll have that. Kelly, do you know if they're going to do the canned good things this time? Okay, I just haven't seen it advertised.
From 9 to 4:30.
Okay.
That'll be the same day.
Okay,
the
I
food
just
drive. Yeah.
hadn't seen that yet, so we wanted to make sure that that went on that day
So you just
too.
drop off your canned goods and go right to drop off your, housewares.
Right,
There you go. It's
okay.
easy.
We will be closed that day to everything except the household hazardous waste. We've done that for the last couple years, and that just works really well. That gets our people in and out, and we're not stretched too thin. So we'll be closed to, only thing we're doing that day is household hazardous waste. So the second thing I have is the 2026 litter abatement grant application for approval for signature.
Is there a motion to approve, same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gill, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Director
Thank you.
McDaniel. Thank you. Does any other office or agency, department have any updates for the court? I took care of a lot of the surplus items. I didn't want to miss anybody. Yes, Director Hunter, thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah,
Thanks for reminding me.
thank you. Good to be with court tonight. So I put two agendas at your all's seats, just more for information. We got a lot happening at the Planning Commission right now, and I've emailed you, the magistrate, several things, I think recently, but just wanted to keep you guys in the loop on two things. First one's this advisory committee agenda. The first one there is a shorter one. The advisory committee, as you all know, is the committee that looks at documents, subregs, zoning ordinance for changes, and have to approve those before they go to the floor of the Planning Commission. Last week, the advisory committee met on September 4th for 2 hours with the focus of looking at several things, but just to back up a little further, as you all know, several months back, you all sent us a directive on the in-family conveyance verbiage to start to look at that. We basically took what the court sent us and modified it and put it into a public hearing document that went to the Planning Commission in May. And so we opened up the hearing in May, and we just opened it, then tabled it, opened it and tabled it, May, June, July, and August, just to allow people to come comment. We got a handful of comments, not very many. But at the August meeting, interesting enough, the planning commissioners themselves started to just kind of drill down a little bit on some of the sentences and actually made a motion to send it back to the committee to start again, kind of thing. So the draft you all sent us, we put in a public hearing, and then it was sent back to the advisory committee. That's what they did last Thursday night for 2 hours, was to take the draft you all sent and do some fine tuning on that. They're struggling with a couple provisions, mostly to deal with some things that have come up that they would describe as substantial hardships that may come up. The two kind of 10-year hold concept they thought was a little bit problematic. If, for example, the parent track, if the property owner was elderly, for example, and they were required to hold their property for 10 years. Just some housekeeping things that they're, so things aren't as simple as they started. They're starting to go with some kind of split numbers, a 5 and 10 year hold concept, substantial hardship language being redefined, and a few other minor things. So they worked on that last Thursday, and they're going back to work on it this Thursday at 4 o'clock. Chapter 7 is long because there's several city-side things that need to be addressed as well as county-side. So, but last Thursday I also did two other things. We made an amendment to the subregs that's needed related to a Stubb Street connection here in the city that's not being made, and really a loophole in our subregs are allowing developers to not make critical street connections. So we looked at an amendment to the subregs that'll go to the Planning Commission Thursday night to try to help that issue. They also looked at two amendments to the zoning ordinance that relate to the flood properties we talked about. Trying to clean up people that maybe what we call a no harm, no foul rule, that if someone's house burns or is flooded or damaged by tornado, that they could build those back even if they're non-conforming. So we got 2 text amendments related to the flood properties that we focused on last week that are going to the Planning Commission this Thursday. And if they pass, Judge, they'd be coming to the court fairly urgently because our waiver of the flood standards, I guess, times out the end of October, something like that. So we'd like to get those amendments into play to allow people to build back if their property's damaged by flood or fire or wind, that kind of thing. And then we're also working on this chapters 2 and 7. So that's what's happening Thursday night. You also notice on this that our volunteer fire chief is making requests to the advisory committee. About a year ago, as you all know, we put fire hydrant spacing requirements for the first time into play in this county, that when developers divide property, they have to put hydrants on the ground if they're within 2,000 feet or not within 2,000 feet. He would like to make a request to the advisory committee to change that standard to assist us with our ISO rating. So he's going to be making a quick presentation Thursday night about tweaking the fire hydrant spacing standard closer to the ISO standard. And then we'll get right back into chapter 5, which is the in-family stuff and some of the city side stuff. Get to the big agenda here. The Planning Commission agenda is the other item. We got a ton of stuff on here. Right off the bat, we got a couple in-family conveyance plats, spouse to spouse. We got a consolidation plat. The Legends has a minor plat, but that item 5 on the non-hearing items, that's kind of a big deal. If you guys were kind of watching, this is a site development plan on the 45 acres of the Edgewood Farm, which is kind of the first big domino east of Kroger's. You know, the city's building a street right now to connect to the east. These are the first 2 big projects that will be landing in this community east of Kroger's. So that's what item 5 is, site development plan. No names are released at this point. There's all kinds of non-disclosure agreements, but all we know is there's 2 words on the plan. One says grocer and one says home improvement. And there's square footages, parking, landscape, drainage, all those kind of things. And that's item number 5 on that agenda. So that's a pretty big item there on the 45 acres just east of the city's new street. And then we have some public hearing items. We have another zone change out in the county from ag to small community. That is for 2 lots. It's actually 12 acres being proposed to be zoned to be cut into 2 6-acre tracts. One possibly be consolidated with a neighbor's property, and then one for a new home build. That's the zone change. And then we have those text amendments I just mentioned, or subregs amendment first, and then item 3 are those flood-related items. And then if we get 7 done before the meeting, it's still penciled on the agenda as the last public hearing. So we got a ton on the Planning Commission. We live stream, as you all know, so you guys can watch us on Facebook or YouTube. Yes, sir. Yes.
Squire Brown, would you mind to turn your microphone on, please?
Sorry, I went fast through that. I'm trying to.
That's okay.
Yeah.
On D, number 4, what does that mean?
On D4, so D4, it says Legends, they've applied for they're basically having to reestablish an easement across 4 lots in that subdivision.
Okay.
So they're not really changing any lots. That's an existing subdivision in the Legends, section 4. And those properties that are addressed 726, 730, 734, and 736, they're putting an easement across the backyards. So they have to amend the plat.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Squire Brown. Anybody else have any questions for Director Hunter?
And again, I've got detailed plans. If any of these cases you guys want to see the plats or the plans or the footprints, all the plans are in my office. If you guys want to swing by next day or try and get you any of the items on the agendas.
Thank you, Director Hunter. Thank you.
Is that good, President? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Director Chandler, Emergency Management.
Thank you, Judge. Very briefly, up until about 3:50 this afternoon, we thought the USDA was going to be here with the contract for the Emergency Watershed Protection Buyout Program. There was a hiccup with the actual paperwork. It did not make it to Kentucky, but they have assured us that it's imminent. So that's good news for all the homeowners that are stuck. Second to that, if you're not doing anything at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning is our FEMA recovery scoping meeting. So that's the next step in our fiscal recovery. We'll go through an event timeline, introduce stakeholders on both sides, and start to paint the picture for the FEMA representatives about what Woodford County did to respond and initiate the recovery steps. And then becomes the big lift with the documentation to back up all that. So again, that's tomorrow at 10 o'clock in here.
Thank you, Director Chandler. Anybody have any questions for Director Chandler? Seeing none. I would just say that any day now means something a lot different in Woodford County than it does in Washington, D.C. Any other department or agency wish to report or have an announcement or any items for the court?
Judge,
Yes, Squire Taylor, you're recognized.
sorry, I just wanted to clarify on that language. Is it time sensitive enough for those residents that we need to review something in the interim via email for a vote, or could it wait until the next meeting?
Squire Taylor, I think you're referring to whether or not we could go ahead and approve any contract. We are still under the same authorization of the fiscal court. For good measure, we can renew that approval contingent upon receiving the approval of the county attorney and the judge executive for the county to enter into that contract. We'll have a renewal vote on that just as a measure of caution. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Motion by Squire Taylor, second by Squire Gentry, to authorize the judge executive and the county attorney to review any potential contract for the watershed improvement program, the USDA, for buyouts. So that would be contingent upon our review and approval. We will send it to the court as well. There's a motion and a second. Are there any questions on that? This is already approved. We're just going to reapprove it just to be clear. Seeing no questions, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to the general orders and unfinished business, the claims, the bills to be paid by Woodford County are before you. Are there any questions or comments on any of the bills to be paid? Seeing none. Are there any objections to paying any of the bills? Seeing no objections, I will approve the bills to be paid without objection. I need a motion to approve the claim from Southern Communications in the amount of $1,060.66 and L&W Emergency Service Equipment in the amount of $5,641.10 using the Sheriff's Office asset forfeiture funds. Motion by Squire Varner, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And the motion carries. I would entertain a motion to approve the transfers as presented. Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion too carries unanimously. We have a personnel order for your approval. Is there a motion to approve same as presented? Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Carl. Are there any questions thereon? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. We need to have the proposed second reading of Ordinance 2025-11, Budget Amendment Number 1, realizing unbudgeted receipts in the amount of $3,101,655.54 in carryover from their fiscal year 24-25. Is there a motion to have second reading of same? Motion by Squire Gill, second by Squire Blackford. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
Yes, Judge, as you just indicated, the amount, this would be a second and final reading of this budget amendment impacted by the prior year carryover amounts totaling $3,101,655.54. So thus your revenues and your appropriations are impacted in that amount. This being a second reading, this budget amendment ordinance is final, although it does need to be published in summary form within 30 days.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney.
Thank you, Judge.
We also need to have the proposed second reading of Ordinance 2025-12, that'd be Budget Amendment Number 2, realizing unbudgeted receipts in the amount of $16,000 in emergency road funds to repair Buck Run Road. Is there a motion to have second reading for same? Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Brown. All those in favor, please vote, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
Yes, Judge, again, as you just summarized, this budget amendment is based upon those road aid emergency funds for Buck Run in the total amount of $16,000 for revenues and thus for appropriations as well. This being a second reading, this budget amendment is also final, although it too needs to be published at least in summary form within 30 days.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney.
Thank you, Judge.
We'll move on from our general orders and our unfinished business to new business. There being no new business to come before the court, does any magistrate have any new business that they seek to discuss or bring before the court? Seeing none, we'll move on to announcements. Announcements from the magistrates. Squire Downey, you already have your mic on, so I'll call on you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Just wanted to say thank you again to Rick and his team and Kenneth Johns and all the county employees for all their efforts this past weekend for a very successful Twilight Festival. Thank you.
Thank you. Squire Blackford. Thank you, sir.
You know, there's so many great organizations in Woodford County, and they were all there at the Twilight Festival, and they're all there to do things for the community. But I'd like to recognize the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary. They do so many things for the community, and a lot of them you never know about. But something they did recently, we had a gentleman that died many weeks ago, and the family did not claim his remains, and there was a GoFundMe set up, but the money never went to handle that. And so the American Legion Auxiliary stepped up and paid for his cremation. And I just want to thank them. And so there are so many things they do. Every meeting that they have, there are things that they do that they're hidden that the community just doesn't know about, and that's just one of them. So I just want to give a shout out to them.
Thank you, Squire Gill. Squire Brown, sir.
Nothing, thank you, Judge.
Squire Taylor.
Yeah, just on the note of festivals in our communities, just want to remind folks of the Midway Fall Festival, September 20th and 21st as well.
Thank you, Squire Taylor. Thank you. Squire Gentry.
Yeah, speaking of festivals, Millville Days is this Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock.
Formerly known as. Thank you. Squire Varner.
Yes, sir, thank you, Judge. Just want to remind everybody the 4-H FFA Youth Sale is tomorrow night. Meal starts at 6, and then the auction starts at 7. And encourage everybody to come out. And if you so want a ham or a live animal, take your shot at it. So, thank you. And also, harvest season's going. I see a lot more machinery out on the road. Just be careful as you drive. Thank you.
Thank you, Squire Varner. Squire Carl.
Yes, with September being Hunger Awareness Month, Food Pantry will be having their food drive on September 20th, 9 to 4:30. So drop off your canned goods, cereal, peanut butter, money, whatever you want to do to help. So. We took the house down over there Friday with the Roper event. I mean, we filled that place up with bingo at the Legion, so we had a good time. So to the American Legion, they were wonderful to us, but we filled the house. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Squire Carl. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
No, but thank you, Judge.
Thank you. The Woodford Sun.
Well, never letting a moment go by. I did want to speak of the Twilight Festival. The people who set up in front of us were just wonderful. They cleaned everything up unlike prior years, so really appreciated that. Secondly, speaking of the Woodford Sun's location, at the same address, but squeezed into the other side of where we've been without air conditioning since May, we have moved in. It's renovated and beautiful space. For those of you all who are as old as me or within a few years of me that went in the back of the Woodford Sun, you will not recognize it. It is amazing. And, you know, I've got to give a big shout out to Ben Chandler, who, shocking to everyone who knows him, did spend money on this. And his wife Jennifer oversaw the entire project and did a remarkable job. And our contractor, they're so good that even Matthew and Roy Boy Coyle said that, boy, they do awfully good work. And with that in mind, we're having an open house, open to the public, free, this Friday from 5 to 7. There will be food and beverages, but again, hearkening back to what I said about Ben, I hope it's at least coming from Kroger, but we'll find out. And when I say I hope you come by, I really, really want you guys to come by. I mean, it is fantastic. Even the sign, the window hand lettering, I found the same lady who did it back in '95, and it was designed by Toss Chandler. Many of us, Toss is one of those people, it's like licorice, you know, you have strong feelings, but one thing that we can all agree on is Toss was a remarkable artist. So we've got the original of that, and before I say anything else, and somebody might say, Ben, you might want to go back and watch the last few minutes of the fiscal court, I will stop. But look forward to seeing everybody Friday night. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Woodford son. Thank you, thank you. I would like to recognize our maintenance crew who worked really hard all weekend. They supported the Twilight Festival. They supported the Hall of Fame ceremony, which was inducted. We also support the community stadium, and it is looking better out there than it has in many, many years due to the hard work of the county and the commitment of this fiscal court. I would also say that the Hall of Fame class that was inducted was a very, very impressive class, and it always reminds me about how many amazing people are in Woodford County, how amazing our school system is, from all the way back to Versailles High School till the current schools, and how much our schools and our community work together to do big things. Director Wade, did you have something?
Yes, I'd also like to put Parks and Rec crew that helped that Saturday.
Yes.
Dispensable with helping out.
Thank you, Director Wade. Appreciate you mentioning that. And we also supported the Brothers Run, the suicide prevention awareness event hosted by Angela Weiss, who does a tremendous job with that organization. To Squire Carl's point, the food pantry needs donations. And they don't need donations in the way that they normally do. They're adding on average 30 clients a month who are hungry in this community. We're seeing the issues like that more and more, and our food pantry does an amazing job, so keep them in your mind. And as Squire Carl mentioned, if you can donate your time, your money, or your goods, please do that for the Woodford County Food Pantry. There being nothing else to come before this honorable court, I thank you, members of the court, all of our department heads, Mr. County Attorney. We are adjourned. God bless you and Woodford County.